Hello, and welcome to Comics Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good day and evening and morning, depending on when you're watching this.
Hey, it's morning somewhere. Here right now, actually, but let's not give away too much of the... Can I just do a little check? Because some people might be listening to just the podcast version of this. They won't be.
Okay.
But if they are, they'll be missing the sartorial treat that is whatever's happened to you. Have you lost a lot of money recently?
What? Well, I mean, we had a New Year's resolution, and we haven't broken it so far, and that was that we can't afford heat anymore. So the hat is to keep warm, and it's got a little... I can tie it under my chin if I need to, if I start doing activities.
Right.
Just in case if we do a little bit of grunge, sort of, which I think is grunge.
Is it?
Yeah. And also the hat is quite colorful, and I can pull it down and cover up the spot that is still lingering from when I had a zit.
How can you still have the
ago.
zit? It's a month of zit.
Well, the zit is gone, but I I might have picked at it a little. I think it's scarred. So it's just, and I think the light just makes it look bright. Like in person, it's not that bad, but it looks. It looks like back when my father used to put cigarettes out on my head.
Okay. Oh, well, that must be it. Maybe we just never noticed it before.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't my father; it was my stepfather. But it doesn't matter.
And they weren't real cigarettes. That's fine. Let's keep it light and pretend they were the sweet ones.
Oh, they were real.
Okay. Well, they're smoking.
Anyway, those were good times. But yeah, so just haven't been able to turn on the heat. So just trying to keep warm. I got the new Christmas jumper on, which is, you can't tell it's a Christmas jumper. It was given to Christmas. It's not a Christmas design, but it was a gift for Christmas. So is it still a Christmas jumper if it's not garish?
No, unless you're embarrassed to wear it, it's not a Christmas jumper.
Right. So, okay. I mean, it would help if I ever put trousers on. Maybe I'd stay warmer then. But some traditions from COVID, I think, should be kept.
I imagine that hat matches the outfit when you don't wear trousers. It's got that. It's got that vibe.
So the problem is, if I do a bit like this where I keep the hat on just to say, oh, it's cold and can't afford heat. If I take it off, my hair now, which is worse? Okay. My hair like this? I mean, you know what it's like, Steve, when you wear a hat and you're...
Oh. One of the benefits, one of the few benefits.
Which do you prefer?
I'd say leave it on like that. That's going to get us more YouTube hits. People watching it scroll without the sound being on. They'll be like, oh, let's see what's happening with this Care in the Community show that I've never watched before.
I can tie my own shoelaces.
But no one wants you to because you're not wearing trousers.
That's going to be the funniest joke in the show.
Hey.
Right. So welcome to the show. If you've not seen us before, you probably won't watch again. But we're going to solve some problems here today. You can like the show. You can subscribe to the channel. You can actually donate to this endeavor to keep us going, because we started it in lockdown back in 1845 and have just kept on going, even though people ask us, why do you still do that show?
It's a very good question. Very good question. We've not bothered to answer that one on the show yet.
We haven't. That is a problem that it will never be solved. But we've got some things to solve. I think I've got the first problem to deal with, don't I?
Yeah.
Now, before you bring up the image here, Steve, this one is kind of upsetting. And so, I mean, this is definitely a viewer, viewer beware. If there's young children watching and everything else, I think they probably need to tune out if they haven't already. Viewer discretion is advised. And but I think we should deal with the controversial issues that are there, even if it deals with something that is quite sexualized, is quite fraught with manipulation and abuse and taking advantage of people and making people uncomfortable, because those are the real problems that face people in the real world. So with all of those caveats, please be aware, watch it while you can before they take us down for showing such racy stuff on YouTube. But this, luckily, hopefully, will be something that we don't have to look at for much longer. And so with all those caveats, go ahead and show us the image there. Oh, my God. I'm really sorry. I know this is almost as bad as when I put a naked baby on the show. In case you don't know what we're looking at here, these are the M&M characters that have been hawking their candy delights for many years. And what we have seen is their gross sexualization and and just the inappropriate nature of some of their shoes that they wear, because that's apparently how you can tell what gender these chocolate candies are. You can see the orange one. He's realized how bad things are over there with the look on his face. The blue one, total perv. Yeah. Purple, I mean, we know what that represents, eggplant erection. Even though those are feminized sneakers, you can't really tell in the shop, but I know. I can tell. But there's been a big problem with these M&Ms, especially in the U.S., which led to the following headline that we also have here, that they've had to shelve these mascots because even the candy shoes can be polarizing. So have you been following this story, Steve?
Not at all. No, it's a shame.
So basically what happened is for International Women's Day or Week or whatever it was, they changed the mascots and said that these are just women mascots and just women M&Ms. And sorry, that just makes me feel sick. They showed some of the female M&Ms holding hands. And so clearly they were promoting the gay M&M sweetie lifestyle. And that's corrupting the children of America. And so M&M has decided to pull the characters that have been used for decades because it's become too polarizing.
I agree. M&Ms shouldn't be lesbians. It's M&M, not M&M.
Or if you flip them up, down, W and W. Ugh, that's just gross. I always make sure I eat them the male side up because otherwise it would be gay. Right?
I think it is. You definitely want to have a small representation of a little man in your mouth. That's so het.
I mean, the whole thing about them, they melt in your mouth, not in your hand. Nothing sexual about that either. Just a bunch of dark brown melted stuff in your hand.
Yeah.
That's totally American and totally hetero.
Yeah.
Because the message is better not to have gay M&Ms than to look like you've shat yourself.
Is it?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, this is a real thing. And the right-wing media in America have been going on about this for about the last 2 months and about how these M&Ms are sexualizing America and showing woke America gone mad. And so M&M have buckled under the pressure. Basically, the M&Ms couldn't take the heat. And so they pulled the characters before they melted, I guess. And so now they're going to be represented by something else that's non-offensive. But the problem with that is that these days everything is offensive to someone.
You've turned, you've pivoted, can't say anything these days.
Yep, you literally can't say anything, especially if you're a chocolate candy that might be gay.
Can we just go back to that the picture, which is this one, isn't it? I mean, are the shoes the problem? Somehow I feel like I know that green is a girl, but those shoes aren't gendered shoes.
But she's got small feet, and men never have small feet.
I think oranges have got small something. Orange has got small M energy.
It's not always big. It's not always the size of the M&M's feet. You know what they say.
No, I don't think they do.
The thing is, I've looked really closely at these M&Ms, and I can't find any genitalia. I mean, I've gotten in there.
Spent ages with one in your mouth, just trying to look. Yeah,
just trying to use my tongue for the skills that it was meant for, and I can't find anything. Not even a little tiny chocolate cock.
That's because you were searching on purple, which is clearly one of the three women on there. That's
but
right.
Purple represents aubergine, which represents penises. So clearly the purple M&M is trans.
And it's woke madness. You can't even have M&Ms that aren't trans these days is probably a sentence that's actually been said on media.
It probably has been on Tucker Carlson because he's one of the people who've been advocating for this. So, us covering this story, is that going to get us some of those right-wing clicks that we're looking for?
Weren't M&Ms quite the or is it Skittles or something? Do you have Skittles in America? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, of course we do.
Of course
we made them.
Yeah, but it's either Skittles or M&Ms that are always used as an argument against immigration.
Yeah.
The one about there's such a small amount of migrants will be terrorists, but if you wouldn't eat M&Ms,
a handful of
if one of them was poisoned.
Yeah.
But if you look at the actual stats, it would have to be like a swimming pool full of M&Ms for just one to be poisoned.
But have you seen how much Americans overeat?
That is true.
The average American goes through 3 swimming pools of M&Ms per year.
Yeah.
And that is a fact.
But now, but now they'll be saying if you have a handful of M&Ms, one of them's bound to be trans. Would you take that risk? Oh dear. Which bathroom do you take your M&Ms into? It really is hard to know.
That's why they had to withdraw the products. So thank God they've done it. America is great again, and praise the Lord and pass the Skittles.
Yeah. Good Lord. Well, you can keep any donations to keep us in sweet and sexy M&Ms. Does that mean, have they got a whole batch of like M&Ms that they can't sell because of the offensive pictures on the packet? Can we get some cheap M&Ms if you're willing to look at an absolute trollop?
I think they're going to have to do a clearance sale of them, or just they're going to have to sell. Only woke people can buy them.
We'll turn up for a slice of that.
Yeah, M and woke. That's what, if you flip it upside down and make it a W, that's what it is. The M is a W that stands for woke.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Eat enough W's, all of a sudden you believe in white, privilege.
Which actually you can't, because just go back to that picture again. No, there's no white M&Ms.
Exactly. I'm surprised that hasn't been brought up before.
Yeah. Looking at it. They're all M&Ms of colour. There are no white M&Ms.
It's not the America that I grew up in.
That's why you should have kept that hat on. That hat really suits that sentence. It's not the America I grew up in. Damn. Here's a different story. If you'd like, I've got a problem that we can solve. How do we solve the housing crisis? And I call it that because everything these days has to be a crisis. Cost of living crisis, climate crisis, and of course the people are feeling too stressed crisis. Wonder why that might fucking be. But there is a problem with the housing crisis. Here's a solution to it. Here we have a tiny flat that's up for rent that's so small you can cook and use the toilet at the same time. People always say, don't shit where you eat. And I think they're wrong. I don't know if you've ever eaten crisps on the toilet. It's one of the best things you can do. It's actually a euphemism for not having sex with people at work. Don't shit where you eat.
Right.
Which, if you live in a place like that, they're not going to be interested in you. But you probably expected this place to be in over-expensive London. No, it's actually in China. So the commute is a pain in the tits too. Oh. So let's do the tour to see what kind of things you can get in this small flat. There's the single bed. Of course it's a single bed because you eat on the shitter. As I said, you are never going to pull. But the interesting bit, I think this is the bit we want to see, the business end, where you can do those things they've talked about. There's the toilet, and you can do some cooking. What I like, I can't believe they didn't mention this. You can watch the TV while you're sat on the toilet, and that's the washing machine right there too. So if somehow you manage to shit yourself on the toilet and shit yourself, you can wash your britches while you watch TV and shit yourself again. Oh my God, this is the dream. We can also see that another different view. Look at this one. This is the window. And it's the bars that get me. I don't know why, but that's the bit where I'm like, as if your life wouldn't be intolerable if you're living in a place where you have to sit on the toilet to cook. But they put bars at the window as if, for security reasons. Like a robber's going to look at that and think, oh, they look rich. Let's go ahead and nick the 3 things they've got space to own. Anyway. It's been described on social media as all-inclusive. I did like that. Okay, of course it's all-inclusive. Where else are you got to put things? It's literally all in one space. Other people have been saying things. I do like this commentary. One user said, it's smaller than a cell in a high-security prison. So at least you got options. You can move in there, and if you find it's too small, go on a rampage. At least you got something out of it. Meanwhile, what do we do to actually solve the housing crisis in the UK? Exactly the same bloody idea, because they've brought out houses that are the same size as a lorry. Lorry-shaped houses. Okay. Where you can live in. We'll take a little look inside the lorry. Here we go. And look, it comes with its own secreted migrant. Up the top there he is. That's you can just live in there. This is what I like about this as a story, is that the message in the UK is, please don't smuggle yourself to the UK in a lorry. But if you do, you're going to live in a lorry. So actually, they might be exactly the right people to live here. Somehow, that has solved the housing crisis.
Nice. Well, I mean, America, we're big on the RV mobile home thing. So that's just basically like that. And then, I was camping in the States this summer. And believe me, some of the RVs that I saw, one of them was pulling a 2-story garage.
Yeah, you do have more space over there, don't you? Like even your cars, your vans, or whatever they're called, your RV, your road vehicle.
RV.
Is it our recreational vehicle?
Yeah.
Roadie, whatever. They're bigger than our houses. So somehow we're downsizing to live in vans, where even your vans are bigger than the places where people live over here. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we got that space in America because we paved over all the Native American lands. So that helps.
It's easy to park.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
Would you be interested in living in a place where you sit on the toilet and you could watch the TV? How is that not the bigger headline here than the cooking?
Well, I mean, I think, I think that would be great. I mean, you talk about the fact that, in the workplace, you're not supposed to shit where you eat. But then most of us have been working from home. So if we weren't going to have sex where we work, yeah, we've been pretty much implementing that policy.
HR's stamped down on that crap. Dear.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
No, it's great life, isn't it? Living life, feeling the joy.
Oh, dear. Well, so have we solved that problem?
We have. I mentioned prisons. I will come back to solve the prison side of it later. But meanwhile, we'll press pause on that.
But actually, prisons is a nice transition to this next story because some of the gentlemen in this story have been convicted of sedition against the United States government and are going to jail. But we're talking about a division of the Proud Boys, which are right-wing extremists that participated in the coup to overthrow the United States government. You see, I'm saying all that, and we're just going to lose all those right-wing followers we picked up in the first section where we ranted about the gay M&Ms. And now I've just admitted that there was a coup. I can feel the numbers plummeting. The stats are going to just collapse at this stage. But anyway, it's true. They are domestic terrorists, but they have domestic terrorists with an ethos that I think that is something that needs to be appreciated. So we can see that here in this headline, which isn't a headline you see every day. The Proud Boys, the right-wing extremists, have really strict rules about when they can jerk off. Now, in case you don't know what that means, if you're British, it means having a wank, spanking the old monkey monk. Other things. Oh, yeah, there it goes. No wanks. It says it right there. Isn't that what you called it, Steve? Let's go spank my monkey monk.
Yeah, really keep the religion involved.
Now, this is an important story for me to cover in that it used up one of my 4 free articles from the Rolling Stones this month.
That's how important this news is.
We won't be covering the Rolling Stones.
If ever there's anything from the Times, it must be big because we ain't signing up for that.
Unless you donate to Ko-fi, I cannot cover anything else that the Rolling Stones covers over the next few weeks. But basically, the rules state, and I quote, "This is our religion. A proud boy may not ejaculate alone more often than once every 30 days. If he needs to ejaculate, it must be within 1 yard, which is just shy of 1 meter, of a woman. Must be 1 yard with a woman." And it does say, with her consent.
Good, step forward.
So, wanking in the bushes, not permitted, no matter how close you get. No consent. And this is the one that really killed it for me. The woman may not be a prostitute.
I thought they were free market capitalist.
I'm just saying. The rule also denies that there is an exemption for cybersex with one's wife.
Okay.
So you can't say, well, I was Zooming with the wife, knocked one out because I'm on the job. I'm busy tearing down the U.S. government. I'm away from home for a long time. Can I just do a quick little Skype or a Zoom? Release the juice.
The juice are trying to what? I'm sure they chanted something about that. I'm sure I heard them chant something along those lines.
That's a pretty strict regime. It's hard enough to be a racist psychopath as it is.
Yeah.
But if you can't, no wonder they're so fucking uptight. They can't wank more than once a month.
I think that's what
and they need a woman's consent, which clearly most of these guys are incels, so they don't really get to deal with a lot of women. And their wives are happy for them to go away. Yeah, sweetheart, you go invade the Capitol. I think they get 10 to 20 for that.
Firstly, I think they've misinterpreted their own rules. There is an exemption for online shenanigans if you are within 1 yard of your wife. You are still allowed to Skype, get your phones out. You just need to be back to back when you do it, like you're about to do it as a duel. That's one way to view it.
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
That's one way. So there we go. Already, you've got to think outside the box. And yeah, I'm fairly sure. I'm sure they stay outside the box.
Stay outside the box while thinking about the box. Yeah. That's the key.
But also, this is why they do it though. It's not join the club and then be angry and join the club. If you join this club, of course, it's just going to keep you angry. There is no one running these kind of groups wants anyone to have a better life. They still want you to be miserable, presume that life is against you, so that you rise up, which is easier after 30 days of not doing that, I imagine, and then try and take over a country.
Yeah.
It is part. This is the same reason with the religions have a whole thing about sex. Loads of religions with no sex before marriage, just to get more people married.
Yeah.
It really works. I imagine if the rule was no sex unless you're married, marriage rates would go up a lot. Divorce ones would also be quite high.
I've been members of a lot of different clubs and organizations over the years, and as far as I know, none of them have had to have a rule about how much I can wank.
Did you ask?
Which leads me to believe that these guys were jerking off a lot, and they were like, dude, we got to rein this in because the floor is getting sticky, and how can we possibly do an insurrection? Gary and Bill, they were supposed to have broken into the speaker's office, but they didn't leave the headquarters because they were jerking off.
Headquarters.
So they've got to stop that, cut it down to once a month, or we're never going to be able to take our country back.
Yeah. No, I see your point. I do think more organisations actually have rules about masturbating. Certainly my local library, as it turns out, quite against it.
Yeah. And what about your local Tesco?
I don't know because I'm banned.
What for?
Something else. I can't even remember now.
There was no sign that said it wasn't permitted.
In fact, there was no sign in the library, but they just went, shh. I think it was the noise that was the problem, as it turns out.
One of the other things that they do, if you join the Proud Boys, which kind of
I probably won't.
is something that we also have the same ritual for new people and new subscribers to Comic Solving Problems, is they initiate you while punching you while you recite brands of cereal. Nothing makes you sound more hard and manly than saying brands of cereal while getting punched.
Frosties.
These guys have been eating a lot of purple M&Ms. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, good info. At least we know what not to do if we're a Proud Boy. And then finally, it's time to fit in another one. We'll go back to prisons, if you don't mind. I mean, as you say, some of those actually will. But prisons are in the news, not just because you can now get a flat that's smaller in a prison. If you want to upgrade, go to prison. And it turns out going to prison in the UK might not be that much of a bad thing. Here's a headline from the Express. Nearly half of UK prisoners have keys to their own cells as a reward for good behaviour. Now, you see that and you think, that's not really what a prison is it? If you can let yourself in and out, I think you're thinking of any other building that's not a prison. One of the defining things about prisons tends to be the idea of you can't get out. Right. However, and I mean, online straight away, people were saying, oh, it's like a hotel. It's not like a hotel because I've been in hotels and they don't even give you a key in a hotel these days. They give you a little card that you put near your phone and then you can't get in or out, making it more secure than a UK prison. Interesting. However, and this is in the Express. Take a look at the picture that the Express used to go with that headline. It's just a Getty Images one, but I don't think that's what it's like in prison. I don't know why they went for that. The Express is so old. I'm amazed they don't spell jail with a G, just keeping it old school. So, as ever with these stories, you get your angry side of it. What, they're letting prisoners have keys to the... Oh, I tell you, these days it's like going on holiday, going to prison. Whoa. And then you read down the bottom of the article, and this is what we both do on telly every so often. Get the angry headline, read the little last paragraph where you'll find out the truth is that a prison service spokesperson said these keys can only be used to stop other prisoners getting into the cells. They have no impact on officers' ability to lock and unlock doors whenever they need to. So if anything, these are keys to make prisoners more secure in their high security places. But kind of ruins the story if you actually know the truth, doesn't it?
Killed it.
Next
year, you can tell me that M&Ms are gay.
Yeah, well, I got some bad news about that coming soon. Oh
no! Don't take away my gay M&Ms.
But I think we just ignore the truth there about it's not about the fact that it's not actually people just letting themselves out for a wander, because it's better if we presume it is, because then I can get angry and say no. Prisoners should not be allowed keys where they can just go in and out of prison willy-nilly, because it would ruin the film Shawshank Redemption.
I remember the first time I saw Andy Dufresne. He asked if I could acquire some items. A poster of Rita Hayworth. I said, well, you've got a key. Why don't you go fetch them your damn self? Do I look like Okado? That was the last time I saw Andy Dufresne. The end.
Now, that's the end of that sketch. What I like about this setup is these days you can't hear the audio when I play out sketches. So, and you've not seen my sketch on Shawshank?
No.
Nope. I want to see if you can guess what's just gone out. I think you know me well enough to know exactly.
We did a Morgan Freeman voice.
Of course I did a Morgan Freeman voice.
About how he suddenly got his key and he's just letting them open the door.
Pretty much.
Something along those lines. Yeah. But it went on for longer than that.
Yeah. Well, I played the Shawshank.
Slowly.
Yeah, exactly, because it's Morgan Freeman. It's a lot of slow talking. I played the Shawshank music in the background as well, so I could just keep taking breaks.
Thanks for telling me that was coming.
Yeah, I thought it'd be... But I didn't need to, as it turns out you pretty much guessed it bang on. The only thing is, I don't really do a Morgan Freeman impression, and I recorded that yesterday, and I came up with the idea and thought, I've got a day to try and improve it. So I watched loads of videos on how to do a Morgan Freeman impression, and now I've got a cold, so it's not going to work as well. But it turns out you can almost, in the space of a day, you can almost get an impression.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, well, you just did. You didn't. Everyone else did. Because then I could get close to the good quality microphone over there, and I was... Yeah. It turns out he's got a lisp. I didn't even know he's got a lisp. But you sound more like more... Yeah. I'd absolutely Daffy Duck the arse out of that, though. If I ever did it again, I'd realise I should rein it in a bit.
Right. Fair enough.
There you go. Turns out you don't even need to see the show. You can just guess the jokes. Of course you can.
We have done this a long time. So, there we go. I think we've solved the news for this week. Sorry that we weren't with you guys last week. I'm sure many of you were disappointed, but...
No one tweeted about it.
We didn't even tweet about it. But we should hopefully be back next Tuesday, not the Tuesday after that.
Or whichever comes first.
Exactly. So thank you for watching. Make sure to try and find us on various platforms and check out Giggage. I was going to be in a place called Brackley this week, but let's just see if that email's come through to tell me I've been cancelled.
Brackley? Are you sure Brackley exists?
Nothing.
That might be why it's not been confirmed.
The gig doesn't exist.
Not sure Brackley does.
It does in this email I got.
Brackley.
Unless somebody's just booking me up at their fake gig so that I don't gig in other places.
A market town in West Northamptonshire.
Yeah.
Wowzers. You really were bringing a tour, weren't you? Good God.
Yep.
This weekend, I'm gigging in Ramsbottom, and I thought that was in Kent, and it's not. That one's in Lancashire. So it's quite a turnaround.
Sucker!
It sounded Kentish.
Like how far away is that then?
It's 3 hours.
Ugh.
And I'm closing, so that's a long drive back. It's a long drive back.
There you go. Flucker and fuck it.
Yes. My old friend Andy Dufresne.
Nice.
That's what I'll be doing in the car on the way there and back. Just Morgan Freeman it for 3 hours. Why not?
You're gonna be that guy that played Elvis that can only speak in Elvis now.
Yeah.
What's his name? Changed him forever. Right. Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully it's warmer outside. I've got different hats though, so I could keep the hat.
Double hat.
What do you think?
Whenever I go to the shops, I have a flat cap and then a hoodie over it to stop any breeze around the back of the neck. It's good.
Nice.
Double hat. These days.
It does cover up the scar, so that's nice. If it was in the middle, then I could be like doing I could bring back my Harry Potter joke.
I wonder where you were going with that one. I was very just about to press the button. Cancelled. He's gone too far. He's bringing in the right wing viewers too much. Press the button.
Let's just move it over. But it's not in the right spot for the Harry Potter scar. Did I get away with it?
No, because I think it needs to be in the shape of a lightning strike rather than a small spot.
Do you remember that joke?
No.
Oh, I'm not going to tell it now.
Okay. There's a treat for next week.
Yeah, there was some motorboating.
Oh, good God. Oh, good God.
Those were the days. Anyway, there we go. Well, thank you very much. I think that's pretty much it. We will see you next time.
Till then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.